Welcome to the Turn Academy at Paradise Golf. Have a good time. If you want to practice more and play more, check out our Players Club at Paradise Golf. Some of the latest research shows that the ideal setup with your irons is 144 degrees. The angle between the arms and the shaft of the club, you see he's at 143, probably 144. Depends on how accurate I am, obviously, with my finger. So he's got a great setup. His problems always seem to occur in the early part of his takeaway. I'm going to go ahead and put the swing plane line in. Now what he'd like to do is take that club and the hands straight back along that blue line. But what he does, see, he's moving his hands away from his body, quite away. Now look where he is now. He's almost into a Mo Norman style single plane setup. He's got to get his hands staying inside the line. What happens is he gets up here, and then he does route it nicely to the inside a little bit, but you see all too often he hosels it way out to the right. And you can see, I'm going to clear this blue line out of the way. You see how close he is. He's flirting right now with a hosel honker. I mean, that club's really close to being right on the hosel. And then he goes. Going to work on that a little bit, Ed. This golfer is very patient and has learned to be more relaxed. He's a little hard on himself. His issue on his short irons is he tends to get too vertical with them. The setup should be just perfect. Notice that the back is about 90 degrees to the swing plane. But what's going to happen is he gets back, he starts taking the club way outside. I'd like to see it staying on the blue line. The hands shouldn't be getting higher than the blue line. So he gets up way up high into a separate plane angle. Now he's going to come down. He's going to have to be very, very handsy at this point in order to get the club back on its plane, to be able to rotate the club close. You see he does that right there at the end. And he's doing it by extending his arms at the ball, which is a great move. Right on through, hits the ball solid. But the inconsistency comes with having to rely on great hand-eye coordination and great timing. If he could get a little better technique, keep the club on the swing plane, play a single plane style swing, he's going to be much happier. Al is heading towards the circle on the right. There's a little flag out there. You can see he's a very upright, not a very relaxed golfer, narrow stance, very upright. But what he does have is a great sense of rhythm and tempo. So I'm going to go ahead and play this swing from right here. Just play at regular speed. And it's right on his target line. Good rotation. Good impact position. You can see right there. Faces a little to the right. He's a little scoopy. See that, how the club opens? That's why he's got a tendency to have a bit of a weaker shot than he'd like to have. That's what we call scooping the ball. But not bad. The nice thing about it is he's down the middle, chipping a putt. Deedee's been working really hard to overcome her tendency to swing very, very flat and around behind her, and to not extend her arms down the target line after impact. What you'll see here is if she goes back, even as flat as her setup is, the club goes back even flatter, way, way to the inside. So when you see it's about right here, it's pointing, well, way off over in this direction. We would like to see that be more down the target line. When the club is here, it should be parallel to the ground, parallel to her toes, and pointing parallel to the target line. Get that out of the way now. Watch what happens. She gets to the top. She's had to lift a little bit because she wants to get her hands up, but she was going so flat she has to lift. Now she's not in a bad spot right here. Notice that the lead arm is parallel to the blue line. The trail elbow is right on the blue line, right on the plane. So if at this point now she can get the feeling that she's going to take her club and drop it that way, but she doesn't. She goes over the top. That's what we call over the top, where she's unwinding from the top down instead of from the bottom up. The shoulder's going faster than the hips instead of slower than the hips. Now she's all jammed up. Let's clear the lines out of the way. You can see it already. She's jamming up pretty good. We need to get the right elbow out in front of the hip, not alongside the hip. Now she stays pulled in right there, catching the ball out on the toe. Glancing blow off to the right is going to go. Now she's just all stuck, doesn't get extended down the line at all. And this lead elbow ends up behind her instead of still in front of her. We're going to work a little bit on that over the next few weeks. You can see this golfer's setup has her hands really high, so the golf shaft is running straight up her forearm. That puts you in a awkward and uncomfortable position. What we'd like to see is that the shaft comes at this angle and then up to this angle, about 144 degrees to the shoulders. You see that where she'd be. So her hands would be down quite a bit, wouldn't they? About 21 degrees. Let's blow this up now and we'll clear it all out of the way. Let's just watch the swing in slow motion. Now you'll see what's happening because she's not able to use the wrist correctly. She's getting all jammed up right in there. Doesn't hit the ball, but she's wanting a little more distance. And I think if we can get that club to be a little bit more at the angle it's intended to be, what I showed you on the 144, so that the arm's straight down instead of bent like it is here. This golfer came to the clinic because he was having a tendency to pull his club. That means going to the left. And you'll see why here as we come back. He's setting up kind of far to the right of his target line, what he said was his target line. Now he gets back into here, and watch what happens. The hands are immediately going to go out. What they should do is they should drop right back that way. So he's going to hit the ball on his target line. Instead, he comes over the top. The club ends up well above the swing plane, which is going to create a right to left swing, and off to the left goes the ball. He makes good impact. We just need to work on that little spot right here at the top so that we route the club head back to the inside, that way, to the ball. Not, the golfer was standing too upright when we first started working together. I like to see the spine tilt forward about 33 to 35 degrees, somewhere around 2:30 on the clock face. You can see she's just above 2 o'clock, so she's in a pretty good spot right there. We'll draw another line in for the swing plane and see if she's able to swing on that. Now notice that the spine tilt and the glove shaft is almost at 90 degrees to each other. That's kind of ideal. Let's watch the takeaway now in nice, easy, slow motion. Club's coming a little bit to the inside, not bad. There, you can see the club is pointing a little to the right of her target line. And again, the shoulders aren't quite turning parallel to the plane. Now she's getting into a pretty good position there. Now, right here, you'll notice that the lead arm is almost perfectly parallel to the swing plane, and the trail elbow is sitting on the plane. That's how we want it. We'd like to see a little bit more hinging right there, but this is a good, athletic, strong position. She's going to come down the swing plane, right on it, right there. Good contact, right on through. Now, direction and swing plane don't have a lot in common. The reason the ball is going out to the right is because the face of the club is pointing to the right at impact. Let's clear everything out of the way. Maybe we can actually see that. Yeah, you really can right there, Kent. You can see how the club is staying open, cutting across it, off to the right it's going to go. Altogether, a pretty good swing, though. Ideally, in the golf swing, we'd like to see the shoulders turn on the same plane or parallel plane to the golf shaft that's set up. And you'll see here what he does is he has a tendency to take the club way to the inside, and his shoulders don't rotate at all on the plane. As a matter of fact, they're staying level to the ground. That's going to create a very inconsistent downswing and a lot of shifting. See how he's shifting down and to the right? That's why he's inconsistent. We're going to work a little bit on his setup so that the shoulders rotate on the plane of his swing.